Very hot. I can hardly stand it.
Good morning, folks. Welcome back. This is a thrift shop haul video, which I have done once before, and they seem to be my least viewed videos, thrift shop book hauls. And as you saw by the receipt that I briefly scanned at the very beginning of this segment, I spent $16 and I got 18 books, 2 soft covers, and I got to do math, 16 hardcovers. And it's a huge file store all box, and we're gonna go through them one by one and show you what we got. You can tell when a book came from a used bookstore because they always wrap the dust jacket and, like, as you can see, kind of like the glare, this plastic cellophane to kind of preserve it. This is a book by Samuel Eliot Morison. It's a two-parter, The European Discovery of America, The Northern Voyages and The Southern Voyages. And again, I paid $1 a piece for these. They look to be in pretty good condition. On the inside, we still have the receipt. And it looks like this book was originally bought in 1997 from Yesterday's Books in Modesto, which is a bookstore in Modesto, and someone paid $40.27 for 3 books. So I'm guessing this, then it says this one was $15, the original note inside of there, and the other one was $12.50. And they wrote that they got it into their inventory in April of 95, and then it was bought in 97. So it sat on the shelf for a while at a used bookstore. Now I got it for $1. Will I read these? I don't know. It looks long. Yeah, about 500 plus pages. But I like my history, so how can you go wrong for $1 a piece? Learn something new. This is for my cousin who collects theology books. This one is by John MacArthur, who is a Christian pastor down in LA County, founder of the Master's College. And this one is called The Charismatics, A Doctrinal Perspective. And it was printed in 1978. And the original owner's name is written inside there, Dave High? I don't know. It doesn't matter. So this is just for my cousin. 50 cents if it was paperback. I also got him a surprise book that I didn't tell him about when I was there. This one is 1948. It's a reprint, though, of the original version. This version is from 1976. Thomas Merton, The Seven-Story Mountain. It says that it is written for Catholics and non-Catholics alike, a spiritual autobiography of the growing restlessness of an intensely active and brilliant young man whose passionate search for peace and faith led him to take vows in one of the most demanding religious orders. So this is a theological classic. There's Thomas Merton there. David McAuliffe's first published work from 1968, The Jonestown Flood, 50-cent paperback, and it was originally $6.98 based off of what's written in the first page. And 1987 edition. I have written this guy twice, Pulitzer Prize winner, and he has written me back both times. Very nice guy. Here's another one that I picked up for my cousin Gary down in Orange County. John Stott is a guy that we read a lot when I was in Bible college. The Cross of Christ. And John Stott, he was a rector for All Souls Church in London and a leader of the British Evangelicals. So that's a good one. Might have to read that myself before I pass it along. Another John MacArthur book, The Book of Leadership, author of 12 Ordinary Men. This one is 2004. Another John MacArthur book, The Book of Prayer at the Throne of Grace. Similar publication date. Another John MacArthur book, God With Us, The Miracle of Christmas. This one is very interesting. I love birds. For those of you that didn't know, I just find birds very interesting to watch. I got a bird feeder right outside my kitchen window, and it just brings me a lot of joy to see those guys out there. John James is the author. Oh no, John James, Audubon, The Making of an American by Richard Rhodes. So, Pulitzer Prize-winning historian Richard Rhodes, the first major biography of John James Audubon in over, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in over 40 years. Looks interesting. We'll read through that maybe this summer. I just got to finish reading the Outlander series first. I got one book left. It's been a long journey, over a year. The Bounty, The True Story of Mutiny on the Bounty by Caroline Alexander. Love the movie. I believe that stars Marlon Brando. Great film. This one was published by Viking Press in, I can't find the date, 2003. Another $1 book. Here's another used bookstore, because you see they wrapped the dust jacket, and they originally sold it for $10. This also came from yesterday's book. It's noted that the book is marked and highlighted, and yes it is. Someone had used this for some paper or something. The publication date, 2004. His Excellency George Washington by Joseph J. Ellis, Pulitzer Prize winner for his other work, Founding Brothers and American Sphinx. John Ellis. Okay. Are you falling asleep yet? Mark Wortman is the author. The Millionaire's Unit, the aristocratic flyboys who fought the Great War and invented American air power. So this is a World War I. Early aviation. Down to our last four. Sorry for the bad camera angles. Masters of the Air, America's Bomber Boys Who Fought the Air War Against Nazi Germany by Donald Miller. Originally $35. And it was published in 2006. Also by Donald Miller. D-Day in the Pacific, The Story of World War II, City of the Century, The Epic Making of Chicago, Lewis Mumford of Life, Lewis Mumford the Reader, The Kingdom of Coal. That sounds interesting. New American Radicalism. Fascinating. This one also was a used copy picked up from yesterday's books. I don't know why they didn't sell it back to them. They donated it, and I reaped the benefits of the deals. A Higher Call by Adam Makos. An incredible true story of combat and chivalry in the war-torn skies of World War II. A New York Times bestseller. 2009. Love me some World War II history. We currently started rewatching, that's probably my third viewing, Band of Brothers. Highly recommend it. Okay. Skeletons on the Sahara? I don't know why. A True Story of Survival by Dean King. On a calm May morning in 1815, Captain James Riley and the crew of the Commerce left the port in Connecticut for an ordinary trading voyage. They would never have imagined what awaited them. Fascinating stories of survival. Some of my favorites. Okay, and last, Batavia's Graveyard by Mike Dash. And this was another yesterday's books pickup. $12.50 they sold it for. A true story of the mad heretic who led history's bloodiest mutiny. This one was published in 2002. And they even put a security tag in there so no one would steal it. Looks interesting. So that's it, folks. 16 bucks. Thrift shops up in the Central Valley are very good values when it comes to books. Even on Thursday, they'll have 10 books for $1. People donate a ton of books, and they often donate valuable volumes. I had picked up 2 autographed copies of Richard Nixon memoirs and like another book that he wrote for a couple of bucks a piece at a thrift shop like last year. And then someone's paid $160 for the pair on eBay. So you never know. And my best used book find, I had gotten a first edition with dust jacket copy of On the Road by Jack Kerouac, and I paid $1 for it, and I think I sold it for over $300 on eBay. So it's just like thrift shops get so many books donated by volume. They're not looking through them to see which ones are valuable, which ones are historical, signed by the author, etc. So if you have the time and you want to resell on eBay, there can be money made by sorting through those stacks of books at your local, not so much the library sales. I feel like they're more thorough at a place like that, but at a thrift shop, they're not checking to see what's rare or valuable because there's just so much volume there that people donate. I remember my first job was at a thrift shop, and we would get so many trade paperbacks. We would have a recycler come, and we would just fill up trash cans full of books. If they hadn't sold by like a certain amount of time, we would cycle through the inventory, and we would just start going through, and we had like a date code on our price tag, and we would pull it and we would just chuck it into the recycle bin, and paper baler would come take it away. It's crazy how much stuff gets thrown out when you work at a thrift shop. Stuff that I probably would have bought, but depending on how long it sat on the shelf and whatnot, they'd just sell it to the rag man or whoever. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. Probably not the most exciting video for a lot of subscribers. I go to the thrift shop almost every day, and I hoard books. I have stacks of books. It's like, it probably takes me a couple of months to read a 1,000-page book, and then I'm adding more and more and more. So you could say that I'm a hoarder. I don't know. Talk to you next time.